Who is Bernard Arnault, the richest man in the world right now? Bernard Jean-Étienne Arnault is a French business magnate, investor, and art collector. He is the co-founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of LVMH Moët Hennessy Louis Vuitton SE, the world's largest luxury goods company with headquarters in Paris. As of January 2023, Arnault is the richest man in the world. His net worth is estimated at about $204 billion according to Forbes. The 73-year-old French businessman is the chairman and CEO of LVMH Moët Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. Known as LVMH. Arnault owns a 97.5% stake in Christian Dior, which controls 41.2% of LVMH. In 1984, Arnault acquired an ailing company called Agache Boussac, which owned brands like French department store Bon Marché and the fashion house Christian Dior. He renamed the firm Financière Agache and initiated a turnaround, cutting costs and selling off some of its businesses. Soon after, he bought fashion house Celine and funded the French designer Christian Lacroix, in the late 1980s. Arnault said his goal was to run the world's largest luxury company within the following decade. He then set his sights on LVMH Moët Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, spending $2.6 billion buying up shares in order to become the company's largest shareholder, and its chairman and CEO. By 1989, Arnault married Andy Wavrin in 1973 and they had 2 children together before separating in 1990. Arnault remarried to Helene Mercier, a Canadian concert pianist. In 1991, he reportedly wooed her by playing Chopin and other classical composers. The French billionaire and his wife live on Paris's left bank, south of the Seine River, a historic area that includes neighborhoods such as the Latin Quarter and PSG. In their home, Arnault keeps a collection of modern and contemporary art from artists that include Jean-Michel Basquiat, Damien Hirst, Maurizio Cattelan, Andy Warhol, and Pablo Picasso. Arnault has 5 children, 2 with his first wife and 3 with his current wife. Antoine Arnault and Delphine Arnault are his 2 children from his first marriage. Delphine, Arnault's oldest daughter, is the apparent heiress to the LVMH empire. She started her career at American consultancy firm McKinsey Company in Paris and is now the executive vice president at Louis Vuitton. In January 2019, Delphine became the youngest member of LVMH's executive committee at age 43. Delphine married Italian wine heir Alessandro Valerino Gancia in 2005 in what Forbes called France's wedding of the year. The couple divorced in 2010. Delphine's younger brother, Antoine, is chief executive of menswear label Berluti and chairman of the cashmere label Loro Piana, both LVMH brands. In addition to those roles, Antoine was named head of communications and image for LVMH in June 2018. And in late 2022, took on a new position, CEO of the family holding company, Christian Dior SE. He's married to supermodel Natalia Vodianova, whom he reportedly met on a shoot for a 2008 Louis Vuitton campaign when he was the brand's head of communications. The couple lives in Paris with their 2 children and Vodianova's 3 children from a previous marriage. Alexander, the son of Bernard Arnault and Helene Mercier, was the CEO of Rivalries, a German luggage brand owned by LVMH. Following LVMH's acquisition of Tiffany Company last year, Alexander was named Tiffany's executive vice president of product and communications. Alexander's younger brother, Frederick, also has a role at LVMH. He joined the conglomerate as the strategy and digital director at Swiss luxury watch brand Tag Heuer, LVMH's largest watch brand, in 2018. Last June, Frederick became Tag Heuer's CEO. Frederick graduated from his father's alma mater, École Polytechnique in Paris, and interned at Facebook and consulting firm McKinsey before joining LVMH as the temporary head of connected technologies at Tag Heuer in 2017. Arnault's youngest son, Jean, age 23, got involved at LVMH in 2021, quietly joining Louis Vuitton as director of marketing and product development, watches. He owns a sprawling vacation villa in glitzy Saint-Tropez on the French Riviera where he has been seen enjoying some tennis matches. Arnault has also reportedly spent at least $96.4 million on residential properties in Los Angeles in the Beverly Hills, Truesdale Estates, and Hollywood Hills neighborhoods. Arnault was reportedly friends with Apple founder Steve Jobs, who once said to Arnault, "You know, Bernard, I don't know if in 50 years my iPhone will still be a success, but I can tell you, I'm sure everybody will still drink your Dom Perignon." Arnault is reportedly longtime friends with former French President Nicolas Sarkozy. Arnault was a witness at the former president's wedding to Carla Bruni. Here, Arnault can be seen shaking hands with Vladimir Putin during the Russian president's 2003 visit to the Château Cheval Blanc vineyard in France, which is owned by LVMH. Arnault has a long-standing public rivalry with François Pinault, the founder of luxury group Kering, who's worth about $50 billion. Kering owns brands including Gucci and Yves Saint Laurent. The billionaire also owns Christie's auction house. LVMH originally tried to acquire a majority stake in Gucci in 1999, but Pinault ultimately snatched up the brand. Over the years, Arnault has built LVMH into the largest luxury conglomerate in the world and earned himself an imposing nickname, the Wolf in the Cashmere Coat. He's behind the creation of Foundation Louis Vuitton, a Frank Gehry-designed contemporary art museum and performance space in Paris that opened in 2014. Arnault is getting richer at an astonishing rate. In January 2019, he made $4.3 billion in a single day after LVMH shares surged 6.9%. And just 16 months later, on June 19, Arnault again made news when he became the third person in the world to reach a $100 billion net worth. The coronavirus pandemic knocked Arnault down the billionaires list. By May 2020, pandemic-related shutdowns sank LVMH stock more than 17% from where it was at the start of 2020, sending Arnault's personal net worth down more than $30 billion. In November 2020, LVMH completed its nearly $16 billion acquisition of jeweler Tiffany Company, a history-making deal in the luxury sector. The contentious deal came after multiple lawsuits, a public war of words, and a $400 million discount. LVMH recorded €44.7 billion in revenue 2020, roughly $54 billion, a 17% decrease from the year prior. However, LVMH appears to be bouncing back in 2021. Revenue was up 32% in the first quarter compared to the same time last year. The company said it saw strong sales in fashion and leather goods in the beginning of the year, as well as an uptick in alcohol sales in the first quarter, particularly champagne. In early December 2022, Arnault briefly unseated Elon Musk as the world's richest person, then later officially claimed the top spot, with a fortune worth $178 billion. LVMH announced in January a shakeup to its executive ranks that includes elevating Delphine Arnault to CEO of Christian Dior, the first time she'll take the helm of one of LVMH's brands. What's your favorite LVMH product?